we will move into EduSims, where Lovemore will guide you through the platform step by step. He will show you what you can expect under each tab, how to navigate the system, and how to make the most of all the available features. Tim Emerson will also give us a short overview of the logbook and portfolio of evidence requirements. He will explain how to prepare your documents correctly, what needs to be included, and how to upload your logbook and portfolio of evidence onto EduSims. This will help ensure that your submissions are completely met by the correct requirements. During the practical session, you are welcome to raise your digital hand and we will call on you one at a time to ask your questions. This will also give everyone the opportunity to learn from the discussion. If we are unable to answer your question immediately during the session, we will follow up afterwards, but we also encourage you to log your call onto the system. We will show you exactly how to do this during the presentation. This keeps us to get track of all the inquiries and ensure that nothing is overlooked. General questions are always welcome and we encourage you to ask them as the answers often benefit everybody attending the session. We hope today's session gives you the confidence to navigate EduSims with ease and understand exactly what is expected throughout your studies. So let's get started. Before we begin, I'd like you to meet the people who will be supporting you throughout your studies. Although you may not see all of them on an everyday basis, we're constantly working together behind the scenes to help you succeed. Let's start with Tim. Tim is a qualified miller with many years of experience in the industry. Everything you're about to learn is something Tim has actually done in a mill. If you have questions about milling processes, equipment, flour, quality, maize, wheat, or anything academic, Tim is the person who will be able to assist you with that. Tim and the rest of the tutor team, which includes Joe Maluka and Andrew Matheson, will also be marking progress questions, your logbook, portfolio of evidence, and your examination papers. So when they give you feedback, please don't just look at your mark, read every comment because what they put there is exactly where the learning is going to take place. Next is Yolanda. Yolanda is responsible for developing our courses and ensuring they comply with the latest QCTO standards. She reviews and updates all the learning materials so that your studies reflect current industry requirements. In addition, she develops new content to keep our qualification nationally recognized. Yolanda also serves as the principal at SACMA and is known for being very approachable. However, to ensure a proper paper trail and that she can assist you efficiently, please follow the academic support structure before you contact her directly. And then there's Lovemore. Lovemore is the software developer behind EduSims, and we also call him the genius. Everything you see on EduSims, every improvement to the system, every report, every AI tool, and every enhancement is developed by him and his team. He is constantly improving the platform to make learning easier and more fun for you. And finally, I'm Elmine, the course administrator. I'm usually your first point of contact. I assist with the registrations, quotations, the student administration, examination, study packs, results, and general student support. If you are unsure where to start, I will always be able to point you in the right direction. Together we are one team with one goal, and that is helping you become a successful professional miller. The SACMA app has been developed by Lovemore to give you access to your studies wherever you are. Many of our students work in shifts, travel between mills or and have family responsibilities, so we understand that you can't always sit behind your computer when studying. With the app, you'll have access to your study material, assessments, notifications, and your progress questions wherever you go. You can move seamlessly between your phone, tablet, and your computer, and EduSims remembers exactly where you stopped. So our goal is to make learning fit around your life and not the other way around. I also just want to point out that the App Store is currently only having the iOS version, but the Android one will be up and running soon. But we will keep you updated and we will notify you as soon as it's in the Play Store. All right, so today I would like you to meet someone called Aisha. Aisha represents many of our students. She's starting a journey just like you today, and throughout this presentation, we'll follow her journey because chances are you'll experience many of the same things she does. Remember something very important. Every qualified Miller once logged into their first course feeling exactly the same way. Everyone starts somewhere. After registering, Isa logs into EduSims for the very first time. Everything she needs is already waiting for her. You will notice many of you have already logged in, so you will notice the banner there. Um, Gone are the days of searching through emails, folders, and different websites. Everything has been organized into one simple learning environment. Our aim is for you to spend your time learning and not trying to find information. This dashboard is your home during your studies. I encourage you to log into your EduSims platform every single day. Check your notifications, read your messages, look at your calendar, monitor your progress. Students who regularly log into the platform almost always stay ahead of deadlines because they always know exactly what is happening. When you begin your first module, don't just jump straight into the progress questions. Start with the study material. Read through the content carefully and watch the videos, complete the activities, and attend the master classes. Everything has been designed to prepare you before you are assessed. So take your time because learning is definitely not a race. One of the biggest improvements we've made to the way you learn is to, besides the module 1 to 3 um, interactive study material, the material for the module 4 to 8 will be uploaded soon. We just want to, instead of simply you reading notes, we want you to access videos, the activities, downloadable resources, and masterclasses inside the interactive material. You will also be introduced to Mill Math. Mill Math helps you practice milling calculations step by step until they become second nature. Many students find calculations difficult at first, but the more you practice with Mill Math, the more confidence you will have. You'll also have access to MicroQuest. MicroQuest provides short learning activities that you can complete in a few minutes. Perhaps you're waiting for your next shift to start, or perhaps you're on lunch, perhaps you got 10 spare minutes. Instead of trying to study for 2 hours a week, MicroQuest allows you to learn a little bit every single day. Those small learning moments quickly build into real knowledge. The more interactive you are with these learning tools, the better prepared you'll be for your assessments and for your examinations. Let's spend some time talking about progress questions because they are one of the most important parts of your studies. Firstly, progress questions are not designed to catch you out. They are designed to help you learn. Here's how they work. You carefully read the question, you think about what is being asked, you write or type your answer in your own words. Once you've submitted your answer, EduSims immediately provide AI feedback on some of the questions. This will exclude diagrams or longer paragraphs that will be marked by one of our tutors. The AI doesn't give you your official mark. It simply guides you in your learning. It may tell you what what you've explained well, what you've missed, where you could improve, and use that feedback. It will improve your answer before moving to the next question. You will also have as many attempts to the progress questions as possible. The pass mark for the progress questions is 60%. So the more you improve your questions, the better result you will get that will count towards your end exams. Every student is marked after the deadline, which is the 30th of September, so that everyone is treated fairly and consistently. And please remember, there is the avatars on the EduSIMS platform that is there to help you. You can just type in your questions and they will be able to assist you. If they are not available to assist you, you can always just revert back to me, pop me an email or send a request on the EduSIMS platform. And please always answer in your own words. Read your tutor's feedback carefully because that's where the real learning happens. Many students ask me whether writing online exams means they'll receive the results earlier, and the answer is no. Whether you write online or in person, every examination follows exactly the same moderation process before results are released. The advantage of writing online is the flexibility. You can write from any quiet location with a stable internet connection. Another exciting benefit is that EduSIMS learns from student performance. If many students struggle with a specific topic, the system identifies those trends and helps us improve learning resources and future support. That's one of the reasons EduSIMS continues getting smarter and smarter. Passing examinations is only one part of becoming a qualified miller. As an accredited student, you'll also have to complete your workplace experience, practical skills, your logbook, your portfolio of evidence, being competent with your trade test, and eventually the ISA exams. These components work together to prove that you can apply your knowledge in a real milling environment. One deadline I'd like to also bring to your attention is that the accredited students must submit their logbook and portfolio of evidence documents by the 14th of October. And please don't leave this until the last minute. These documents form a very essential part of your qualification. Everything you've seen today is only the student side of EduSIMS. Behind the scenes, tutors, employers, administrators, developers, and intelligent reporting all work together. The platform allows us to identify students who may need additional support long before the exams start, and it allows employers to monitor your process and your progress. It helps tutors focus on students who need assistance, and it allows us to continuously improve your learning experience. You are never alone while studying through SAGMA. And finally, I want to talk about something that will make your life and our lives much easier. Please log every query through the EduSIMS Help Center. Please don't WhatsApp me, don't email Tim, don't send messages on different platforms. Use the help button inside EduSIMS. When you log a query, the system creates a unique ticket number. That means we can see exactly who's working on your request and can monitor its progress at any time. Nothing gets lost and every conversation stays together in one place. When you click Help, you'll choose one of 4 categories. There is the technical or platform issue category, then account fees and documents, academic or study help, and then assessment, exams, and result help. Enter a short subject, describe your question clearly, and submit it. You can then track everything under My Request until your query has been resolved. Logging your query through EduSIMS helps us help you much faster. Okay, so today you've met the team, you've seen the platform, you've learned how your studies will work. Now it's your turn. Be curious, ask questions, use the videos, use MillMath, complete the micro quests, read every piece of tutor feedback, log your queries through EduSims, and most importantly, enjoy your journey. On behalf of Yolanda, Tim, Lovemore, and myself, I'd like to officially welcome you to the SAGMA family. We look forward to walking this journey with you and celebrate your successes when you qualify as a professional miller. I'm going to hand over to Yolanda. She will just give her point of view, and then we're going to take it through to Tim, and from there, Lovemore will guide us through the EduSims platform. Thank you, Yolanda.
Thank you, Almin. Good morning, everyone. Thank you very much for everybody that's taken the time out of their day to attend this orientation session. I also just want to thank the team, which is Almin and Tim and Lovemore. Between the collective of us, what is the vision for SAGMA going forward? The vision for us is to really enhance and bring SAGMA into the digital space that we are operating in. And when I talk about the digital space, I'm not saying AI is going to replace the human intervention. Our aim is always to have a human intervention with all of our students. As Almin said, we are all approachable. If you've got any concerns, constraints, positive suggestions, please send it over to us. We definitely will take everything into consideration. The new platform and the new way of doing things is just to create a more engaging, interactive experience for all of our students that's registered with SAGMA. I know that some of the process improvements and process enhancements could feel a little bit overwhelming now that we are fully embracing the digital space, and the fact that we've changed progress questions where it's completely online. It is just, and it's to improve your experience and to improve your understanding of the content, because I know the content can also be very overwhelming. We just are so passionate about creating such a sustainable, competent pipeline of millers. The miller is such a scarce and critical skill within South Africa, because if we do not have qualified millers that mills maize and wheat for human consumption, there will be a big gap in the food safety and food security. So I always come back to what I say. It's that you are one of the most important sector skills development that we need to invest in. So yeah, reach out to us if you've got really any queries, questions, process improvements. If there's topics that you feel we should spend more time and energy on, please send it through to us. And I just wanted to say we are extremely excited to walk this journey with you. For the newbies that is in Maize and Wheat 1 and 2, welcome to SAGMA. For everybody else that's a little bit further along in their journey, we welcome you back. The last thing that I want to say before I hand over to Tim to quickly chat through the logbook and portfolio of evidence is that we are busy in the background to create coaching and mentoring content for the training officers on site that's there to assist you to develop your skills. So we are taking notice that not everybody that's a good qualified technical miller might be able to assist the apprentices. So in the back end, we are busy developing some content for them to just help and assist them to mentor and coach the apprentices on site a little bit better. Tim, I'm handing over to you for your section on logbooks and POEs.
Thank you very much, Yolanda. Good morning, everybody, and I'm very excited to see over 80 people on this meeting today. So I'm going to go through a short presentation of how easy it is to do your logbook and your portfolio of evidence. And I'm going to show you some examples of how the documents must be filled in to make it easier for you. So your logbook is divided into 3 sections. You've got in the front of the book, you've got work experience, which is pages 3 to 25. The second part in the book is your workplace skills, which is pages 1 to 103. And then the third part of the practical skills is practical skills, and it's pages 1 to 168. But don't get confused about the pages, because each section has its own section of pages. That is why it starts from 1 each one. All right. Thank you, Elmin. So work experience. In the front of your logbook, well, if you don't have the logbook or you've downloaded, you're going to have this page on the left where you can just fill in just for your own information. And the first page looks very like the one on the right, blank with nothing in. So when you do a certain task, you're going to have to be made competent, and you're going to fill in the date that you did that task, and you're going to sign it yourself. So once you have completed a task, date it and sign it, you will see that on the top it says WMO1. In the workplace experience, there are 6 sections, WMO1 to WMO7. There is no WMO6. So every time you've done and you've completed that page, including the page after, because the first section is pages 3 to 7. Then you upload it. On EduSIMS, you will find 4 folders. It'll be work experience, workplace skills, practical skills, a portfolio of evidence, and under each one you will find a subfolder where you will upload WMO1. WMO1 will look like this once you have finished filling it in. Okay. So once we have finished with WMO1 workplace experience, you go over to workplace skills. Thank you, Almin. Okay, workplace skills. You are going to have a whole lot of pages in there. I think it's from pages 4 to 103. You will do, in alignment with the work experience, you will do a task. So just one back, please. You will do a task. And once you've done a task, you will tick yourself competent. Your supervisor will make sure you're competent, and he will sign, and then he will put the date. For every single task, there will be a competent. And if you are found not yet competent, you tick not yet competent, because you will redo it again, and I will show you where to redo it again. Okay, thank you. So once you have done a task and you have ticked yourself competent, and your supervisor has found you competent, he signs and he will put the date there. So every time you do a task and you are competent, you get ticked, you get signed by the supervisor, and the date will be put in. Thank you. There are more pages that look like that. So as I say, there are a lot of pages that need to be filled in. So each one competent, signed by the supervisor, and you will put in the date. Okay, and then you will get to a page that looks like this. So after every little section, you get a page where you're going to be made final competent. If you are not yet competent at any stage previous to that, you will do a reassessment. At the top of the page, it says reassessment date, and then you will be found competent and then signed and the date. But if you are found competent on all tasks, you can go to the next page, please. And this is how you will fill in that page. You are marked competent, the date, your supervisor must sign at the bottom, the learner must sign at the bottom, and there must be a date. Many of these forms I get are completely wrong. There are supervisors missing, there are dates missing, there are competent ticks missing. That's so much wrong. So this is just the way that must be filled in correctly. Thank you, Almin. All right, practical skills is the same. If you're working with workplace skills and workplace experience, they will align with each other. So if you're doing a workplace skill, you will also be able to do a practical skill at the same time. So on the right, once you've been found competent again, you will tick it, the supervisor will sign it, and the date. There are a lot more documents in work and practical skills, so you will have a lot more to fill in. And again, you will get a form like this. You tick competent, you put the date, your supervisor must sign, you must sign, and the date that you were found competent must be filled in. All right, now the biggest challenge for all students is a portfolio of evidence, but it shouldn't be a challenge. It's actually quite a simple process. You have portfolio of evidence. You have from WMO1 to WMO7. There's no WMO6. So the list of the minimum requirements are quite simple. This is WMO1. This is your intake. So you need 6 grain delivery truck documents. When the driver arrives at your mill, he brings a document with you. You present a copy of that document. You normally have a weighbridge where you will weigh the truck. If you don't have a weighbridge, then you will have to have a printout of some kind for an intake scale. And then you need 6 graining slips. But please be aware, if you get a truck coming in with a registration ABC 123, the weighbridge ticket must align to that ABC 123, and so must the grading. So each document must relate to each other. Then after that, you only have to give me 1 fumigation certificate. So many people give me 5, 6, 7 certificates. That's 1 certificate. 1 scale calibration certificate, preferably for your intake scale or the weighbridge because you are working in the intake. 1 silo stock sheet. That's very self-explanatory. It's just a stock sheet of your silos. Silo recon record, which shows the losses and gains, and that normally happens at stock taking at the end of the month. 1 sheet for that. 1 housekeeping record for any flaw in the silo. 4 maintenance records, and please understand, this is work that you as the learner has done, not what the workshop has done. Remember, you are not electricians, you're not fitters and turners, you are millers. So you go into the silo, you open up a machine, you brush the screen, you check the screen is fine, you open a conveyor, see the conveyor is fine inside. Those are the type of things I'm talking about, not changing motors or bearings or anything like that. And the last thing of the intake flow diagram must be hand-drawn. You'll be surprised at how many people send me printed copies of their flow diagrams, all right? Grain cleaning, this is when you take the wheat from the silos and it's going to go to your conditioning or your maize, the same process. A startup checklist, and this is just to see that you're following safety procedures. 2 quality reports for grain transfers. 2 conditioning records for water added to your grain, or even a grist, a mixing of different grains. 1 housekeeping record for the screens room. Incident report. An incident report could be a near miss, someone cut a leg, someone twisted an ankle walking downstairs, someone had something fall on their head. That's an incident report. 4 maintenance records, again, what you have done as a learner. And the screens room flow diagram must be hand-drawn again. Thank you, Almin. All right, milling efficiencies. This is what happens in the mill. I need 4 production or mill logs. I want 1 record for all products that the mill produces. If you produce white bread flour, cake flour, brown bread flour, bran, I need a list of that. Normally, it is normally on the mill log, but produce a list of that. 1 shift handover report. So when you hand over a shift from 1 shift to another, there has to be a report. If it's normally written in a book, what happened on your shift and all the rest of it. Quality specification list for products produced. Specification list is your products you made, white bread flour. This is the color limits, upper limit, lower limit. This is the moisture. This is the protein. Those are the kind of specification list I'm looking for. So it's for your products you produce at your mill. Quality test report for all products produced for over 2 days. So 2 quality reports. Another incident report or a near miss. All right, control of the mill systems. That's normally a brake release or a vitamin addition control. Comply with safety requirements used during the milling process, lockout procedures, hot work procedures. One of the other. Mill flow diagram, hand drawn again. Stock sheet of all products produced. So looking for your bin stocks that you produced. And for maintenance records, that is your plant sifters and all the rest of it. You will see at the bottom, I've already put their maximum documents uploaded for each section, just to make sure that you don't overload me and Mr. Maluka with 50, 60, 70 documents. I've already had 151 documents for one section, 151. Okay, quality is very simple. Once again, quality specification list, as we said earlier, quality results of two finished products, two quality results, schedule of tests on finished products. In other words, how often are you going to do a test? White bread flour 2 hourly, bran 3 hourly, chop 4 hourly, so on. And then a sample register. Every time you go and fetch a sample, there's a register. You should have a register that you've taken these samples, and I want a copy of that. Very simple. It's 5 to 10 documents. Easy. All right, this is the biggest one, the packing department, but this is not only the packing, it's where you mix your products to meet specifications for and flows. So quality specification list for products again. Your milled product and packed product is normally the same, so just another one there. Quality test reports for packing. One packing statement, what's happened on what is produced, almost like a mill log, but a packing log. One times flour or packing bin stocks. Stock sheet for all packing material in stock, just to make sure that you have enough packing material. One stock reconciliation, packed stock in the warehouse. So whatever you pack at the mill, a little reconciliation of what it's standing in your warehouse. Mixed flour or maize to meet customer specifications. That's just a subheading. So if you have a mixing where you mix certain ingredients together to meet specifications, or different flours from different bins, or different maize from different bins, or a brown bread, just give me a little hand-drawn flow diagram of that, and then batching or mixing of products for specific. I'll just need a batching record of you've mixed this amount of product together to make a customer flour or a brown bread meal. Then I need some data sheets if you have any of these mixed products. What is the data sheets for the mixed products that you have mixed to meet customer specifications? All right, one cleaning schedule for the packing machine. If you change from white bread flour to brown bread flour or vice versa, you just need to have a flushing record that the machine is clean. You're not going to pack contaminated product. Packing bin cleaning table roster. Your packing bins or your flour bins need to be cleaned. There needs to be a roster. Going to do with one every 3 months and so on. Packing shift handover, very much the same as handing over of the mill. If you do have multiple shifts, otherwise just a shift report for the end of your day so the next person can see it the following morning. Hand-drawn process flow showing bin selection to packing. This is from your packing bins or your flour bins to your packing. Checklist to see that the packing machine is ready before packing starts. So in the morning you get there, have we got the right selection of bin? Have we got the right packing material? Is the glue pot on? That type of thing. Make sure there's a checklist to check that stuff. Production plan, what you're going to pack. Someone has to decide what has to be packed. It's normally the person in the head of the packing department. A weighing register, so your product is being packed, and every hour you do a check weight on your products being packed, check weight list for that. Pallet reconciliation or pallet documentation to show that you have pallets on site, the pallets are clean, the pallets are covered, and they are good to go. And then lastly, it is a date coding. Normally at the end, when the product is packed, there's a printer that prints a date code on there on the packet, an example of that. And then the last section is your milling machine equipment, maintenance schedule, how often you're going to do. You're going to check your Let's say your brand finishes monthly, you're going to check your conveyors weekly and so on. Just a little schedule to show how often you're going to do your maintenance on your machinery. 3 inspection sheets for conveyors, 5 inspection reports for different machines, aspirators, roller mills, purifiers. That's a workshop thing. It can be you as well. 2 scale calibration certificates for mill scales. Could be also packing scales. Preventative maintenance plan for what the millers do. Okay, preventative maintenance is your plant sifters, your purifiers, those things those maintenance things the millers do. Manufacturer's manual. I don't want 50 pages, people. I want the cover, and I want just the basics of what is actually in that book. Don't want every single specification, dimension, all the rest of it. Very important, and this is what a lot of people don't do, is they don't do 6 plant sifter internal flows. I need 6 of different plant sifters, not the same one. And then 4 maintenance records that the miller has done in the mill, plant sifters, and all the rest of it. And then lastly, finally, and probably the most important, label your documents for easy reference. And the reason why I say this is there's so many milling companies out there. We don't know, Mr. Maluka and myself don't know how your systems work in your mill. Every mill has a different system. So right on the top, WM01 fumigation certificate or something to that effect. It just makes our lives so much easier. I hope this has helped you, and I hope that it's going to make our life and your life a lot easier. But as Almin said, please approach us if you do have a problem. We will try and assist as far as we can. And as Yolanda says, I'm very passionate about what I do, and I like to teach people. And I've been doing this for 48 years, and I'm still very passionate about it. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Tim, for that comprehensive overview about logbook and POEs. We will upload this presentation to all of the accredited learner profiles on EduSIMS. So if you want to go back and re-look at it, it will be there for you. Thank you very much. Almin, we're handing back over to you and Lovemore now.
Yes, thank you so much for that long description. I think it's very helpful for all the students. We're going to hand over to Lovemore now for the fun part of today's presentation, and that is to explain the EduSIMS platform to us. Lovemore, I think firstly, if you can introduce yourself, EduSIMS, to the students, and let me know what you need from our side, but from the team side at SAPMA and on behalf of all the students, thank you so much for all the work you've done to put this platform together for us to make it a very comprehensive, like we call it, mothership, where we can get together and get all the information in a fun and very informative way. Lovemore?
Thank you so much, Almin. Much appreciated. Just to confirm if my audio is clear and if you can hear me.
Yes, we can hear you loud and clear.
Steer the ship a little bit further. Awesome. I see Grant's hand is up, so you can come through, Grant, so we can get started. If you have a question.
Sorry, no problem. Wrong button.
Oh, okay. Awesome. Right, colleagues. My name is Lovemore Chanengeta. I'm from EduSIMS. I am behind the dev team that work behind the platform. So we bring you all the goodies and make sure that we digitize the learning process as much as we can. Our company, EduSIMS, it's about 8 years old now, and we are now ranked 5th in Africa in the EdTech Timbuktu through that accelerator program. They went through our technologies and they say that, yes, they do solve problems in Africa. So today, I see Tim, you did a good job. I'm also becoming a miller. And with what Tim has done, I would like to quickly jump into the platform so that I can give you more of a deep dive, where today I'm mainly going to hold your hand and I'm going to dive into the platform deep with you, show you things that the platform can do, the interface, the design, and also to take you through what was in our heads when we came up with the interface, translating what we think or what we feel could be helpful in your studies. So I will share my screen in a flash, and if you can also confirm that you can see my screen so that we can get started. Right. Elmin, can you see my screen?
Yes, thank you so much, Lavmo.
Awesome. Right, so we have Aisha Whitley, the student in front of us that Elmin already introduced. So I'm going to start from the dashboard or from the student hub, as you all have received your logins to the platform. So I will definitely just jump to the student hub dashboard. Now, when you log in to the platform using a PC web browser like what I've done, I've logged in using a browser called Microsoft Edge, as you can see on my taskbar. Now, with that browser, you are able to have an interface as it looks in my face right now. Now, to explain it, I'm going to start from the top. Let me make this a little bit bigger so that it can be clear for you. So when you come to the platform, there is going to be that thick dark green line on the top, which represents your main menu functions. So consider that your gateway to different sections of the platform that enable you to do certain things as required by your training. Now, the first thing that you're going to see is the SAGMA logo. And wherever you see that logo, when you click on it, it refreshes the page and takes you back to the main dashboard. So say, for example, you might have poor connectivity. The platform is designed to also work where there's poor connectivity, where it gives some functions, even if without the internet. Then when the internet returns, it will then synchronize and improve your experience. So you might get stuck at some point. You simply click on the SAGMA logo to bring you back to the dashboard, which then refreshes the whole platform to give you a more of a synchronized with the real life data from the main server. Now, the next menu option, which is home, and it works the same as the logo. It takes you back to exactly where we are, which is the main dashboard. Now, the main dashboard, I'll quickly explain it as I go through to the other pages. It has what we call its hero section that greets you with what it is, which is the student hub. And if you look at it in front of it, I'm going to zoom this a bit. There is an eye that you see in front of student hub. That eye is going to follow you almost on every page that you meet. Now, each and every page that has that eye, move your mouse over. It will show you more information as to how to use this page and more of an overview of what this page is about. So in this case, if I move my mouse over, I also get to access a guide that I can listen to. So you can simply just press listen to the guide and you'll have a vocal experience or an audio experience of what this part of the system is. So this will be there across the platform wherever you scroll or wherever you open pages. Pay attention to that eye. It will give you more information and also it will give you an audio experience of what that page is about. The same function that you're finding on this very same eye, you can also access it using what you call your action menu. So your action menu is on the top right. I'll just zoom so that you can see what I'm referring to. So this is the action menu, which is on your top right, where you can, just one moment, just reset the zoom icon. Okay, there you go. Yeah, so the action menu, you'll be able to find that there's a guides menu, which looks like a book. If you click on it, it gives you access again to the same guides that you find on the eye. So it follows you everywhere. That in case that you forgot how to work out a certain function, you quickly click on that eye. It always gives you some guides in the small little brief that you can quickly follow through and be able to help yourself around the platform. Now, on the same hero section, it will always greet you, so you can never say, I was not at my platform. You always know where you are because it always greets you. And it will also have your avatar on the far right, which you can also upload for yourself. I see many of you haven't uploaded the avatars, which is a very simple process to upload your avatar. When you click on your avatar, you should be able to upload your avatar and also have the system represent you with your facial image. So if you click on that avatar, it will take you to this page where you can simply also update the photo. It will allow you to take a photo where you can actually position yourself, as you see I'm doing it right now with my webcam. Then I'll quickly capture, then that will update the photo on the platform. So I'm just taking you through, like I say, I'm just holding you, I'm holding your hand, swimming deep. I don't want to overwhelm you, but I want to give you confidence to go around the platform. And again, I find the eye that can take me to the guide that I can listen to, and also a quick preview that I can read about the platform. So that happened all from the homepage. So I'm just showing you that that hero section, it is interactive. It allows you to even upload your profile picture by clicking on it. If there is none, there will be your initials on it. Then if you click on it, you are able to upload that. Then it also gives you a quick overview of what's happening today. So if there's anything pending, if there are any exams to take, it will show you what you need to do. And also it allows you to register yourself for the upcoming intake. So if there's an intake that is open, you are able to click on register now, and you are able to register yourself for the upcoming intake. Now, after you've done that, or normally when you come to the platform for the first time, you will have where it says show steps. If I expand that, it will actually show you and guide you to say, this is where you start and this is where you're going to end. So there's about 6 steps where you say your registration is confirmed, then you do the course orientation, then you also start with your learning materials. Then you go to the progress questions and you go to the readiness check before you write your online examination to prepare yourself. Then you can take your final examination. So what happens is that some of these items could be locked, and they will also open up as you progress. I see Lulama, you have your hand up. You can come through. Oh, I love engagement. You can unmute yourself.
No, she said it was a mistake, Lovemore. I've
okay.
asked her in the chat. When you
Oh,
are
okay.
done with your explanation, we'll open the floor for some
awesome.
questions from the students. Thanks.
Great stuff. Awesome. Right. So on the same steps where you are able to also ask Sagma. So there is an assistant within the platform that is called Sagma. So the Sagma comes in 4 avatars, which gives you different characters of how you engage with it. So at any given time, when you click ask Sagma, this will always show up, and you can actually drag it around the screen to wherever you want to place it. If you're tired and you don't want to see it, you just close it. It will just go away at any given time. Also, the Sagma assistant, you can also mute because it has some sound effects. So if you're in a quiet environment, you can mute the sound effects of the Sagma assistant. Then you also have got characters where you can change the tone of how you engage with it. In this case, you can engage with it as a guide, or you can engage with it as an analyst. You can engage with it as a mentor, where it gives you some mentorship, or you can engage with it also as a coach. So that gives it a different feeling of how it's going to engage with you. So when you're engaging with it, you're going to have a chat where it's either you are typing it in, it will guide you, or you can actually turn on your microphone and you can speak to it. It will pick up your words and put it in the chat. So if typing is an issue, you can also use the assistant in that manner. So this is to guide you in the steps of what you can do. Now, this shouldn't overwhelm you. If you look at where I clicked hide, show, so you can actually show steps to make it bigger and you see everything. Then you can also hide it, right? Now, followed by a small little summary of what is going on with your enrollment. You'll be able to see that there's 2 things that are ready for you to take. There's 0 upcoming, there's 0 completed. If there are any notifications, you can also see those notifications. Now, to enhance the learning process, the Sagma came up with your learner track that can allow you to view your progress in a 360 view. So this learner track, if you look at it, it gives you your progress as to say, are you on track with what you're supposed to have done up until now? So it will always give you all these nice indicators, which you can go down and look and see how you can improve your experience, where you've missed out, how you can keep your progress at its required optimum level. So as I go through the homepage, you can see that it's so interactive that it also takes us through other menu options, right? Now, after that, you have access to what you call the MillMath Arena. So the MillMath Arena, as it's written, is there to sharpen your milling math, right? So it gives you an experience more of a gamified experience where you can actually pick your battleground to say, right now, I want to deal with mixed questions from any topic, right? Or I want to deal with arithmetic basic questions. It depends on what you want to deal with on that particular day. Then you want maybe a round with 5 questions or a round with 10 questions. Then once you're satisfied, you can then enter the arena. Once you enter the arena, you are starting the game, and you also have options where you can mute, and also you can change the view to make it lighter at any given time. So the MuleMath Arena allows you to take these questions at any given time, and it gives you a scoreboard, and you have access to a leaderboard where you can also see how other learners are performing, how others can motivate you with what they're doing with the MuleMath. So you'll be earning some XP points with the MuleMath, right? Then after that, on the dashboard or on the student hub, it will also show you things that are ready for you to take. Again, wherever you see an eye, you always have to move your mouse over it, then you can actually read what is there. So if there's anything for you to take, you are able to actually start from the main dashboard. So I'm showing you these things so that when you get into the platform, you are provoked and you are able to go through certain things. Then you can also give us feedback of what works for you and what does not work. Then we can all work together to improve the experience. So if you have any progress questions that are due or that are ready for you to take, you will see them right there. And if there are any upcoming exams, you can also see them right from the dashboard. Now, if there are any recent results or whatever feedback, you will also be able to see that on this tab. So it will always have small little sections that give you an insight of your whole learning experience from a bird's eye view and give you access to click further and go deeper with it. So like I say, I'm diving deep into it from this dashboard because it gives you access to almost everything that you need. Then we'll touch on the navigation in a minute. Now, you can quickly have access also to all the other pages where it says jump to. So you can actually jump to your progress where you can see now your learner track that we touched again recently. Then you can also jump into attendance. This is when you're doing exams and timetable and also your calendar and even your learning material where you need to quickly access your material. From the dashboard, you can quickly go and access your material where there's interactive learning and also you can find study guides. This could be PDFs. So when you open each interactive learning, it gives you more detail on that particular material. Then you can actually launch the interactive learning and you start consuming that interactive learning package that is set for you or that is linked to your course or to your modules, just like that from the platform. Now, all this experience, you are getting it from the platform and you can actually mark as complete to say, no, I'm complete, I'm done with this. Or you can actually go back to the list where you can consume a certain type of material. The previous one, it was a link that I opened, it will open a new page. And if you look at this material that I'm opening now, it's a different type of material, which actually opens up a PDF, which you can actually consume directly from the platform. Now, as you go through this PDF, the system actually pays attention to say, which pages have you read? How far have you gone? So when you come back to the document, the system knows where you left off, and it can also track the progress of how you're consuming the learning material. So the same approach or the same file that you're looking at, you can actually open it in a tab. So perhaps you're studying and you just want to open this in a different tab. You'll be able to open the file in a tab and have a full screen where you can play around with the file and consume the file. The system will actually be able to read as well how you're engaging with this particular file or with this particular learning material that you would have opened. Now,
So
if you want to...
Lovemore, sorry,
Yes.
can I, sorry that I interject here.
No, sorry.
And the reason why we are tracking where students are spending their time and most of their time is to actually develop a personal learner track for every student that access the interactive study guides or the PDFs. Where will this help us or help the students is to actually create a personalized learner track for you as an individual. I think the one thing that we collectively as a team has identified is everybody learns differently and they understand differently. So what we want to do with the intelligence is to assist every student where they are at currently to help them to progress for their own career path, not for the group, but for yourself. So all of these interventions has been put into place to personalize the training that you get from SAGMA and through the system.
Awesome, awesome. Like I always say, my students, they always know how to put it right on the T. Yolanda is one of my students. Thank you so much, Yolanda. Right, so this is how you're going to consume this learning material. Now, this is all coming, remember, from that home dashboard. So just navigating right here, you've got this quick menu options, which allows you to quickly jump into anything. Like I say, I'm giving you the deep dive. So we're in the deep end. You want to jump into something, we jump into the materials. You can also jump into your logbook. Right? What Tim was touching to say, we have got these 3 sections of your logbook, which is your workplace experience, your workplace skills, your practical skills. So where do you get those templates that you're supposed to download? This is where you're going to find them. You can view the template and you can even download the template from right here. Now, these templates that you download, if you look at this logbook of yours, it also goes further that it can say you can actually start a logbook entry. So it gives you more insights now around your logbook. So your logbook is now digital and it is an assistant that tells you what has been done. If there's your feedback from the tutors, you can also find it around your logbook. Like in this case, it says most of your module 2 evidence is fine. 2 items need attention before I can sign this round off. So as you can see, it says on top here, if you look at it, I'm just going to start from the top where it says 2 entries need your attention, submit them to your tutor. So it gives you that, and again, the I is always prominent. It gives you a guide as to what this is and what is expected of you. Now, if you have to download the logbook and POE documents, it's also guiding you right from the top. So you will be going through with this page for you to be able to communicate and also submit your feedback or your documents as entries to your tutors. Now, those documents, they become so interactive in a way that it helps you with your learning process. As I go down with my portfolio evidence of evidence, it shows me that you have got returned changes, and this is now round 2. So depending on how many times you send back the document, the system is just paying attention to say, how best can we help you to make fewer submissions? So you don't need to say, how many times did I submit? The system just shows you where you are, and it can help in terms of making recommendations of what learning material or what micro questions can be set for you to practice and improve your competence. Now, it gives you again what we call a section competency. So the section competence is signed off by your training officer. So it tells you where you are with each of the modules and also in a percentage indicator that is there as well. And immediately after that, it tells you what to do now. So your tutor retained your portfolio. You only need to fix flag documents below. Anything marked competent is done and will be kept. Replace each not yet competent and that flags changes required. So you remove the file that is there and the new file will replace the existing one. So in this case, in that you've got 3 items that need your attention. Now, you now have an option immediately after that to add a new document that your tutor is asked. So when you're adding the document, you click on it, it will expand the document types. Then you can choose to say, I'm uploading a workplace experience and it is for WM01. Then you can choose your file and you can connect your file for WM01. Then you can upload it to the platform. So in that simple way, you've categorized your submission to the platform. So it says 1 workbook file uploaded, right? Now, these submissions that you're making, you can take a look to say, what did I upload? You can actually view what you uploaded. Then you see that, okay, is it the right document? If you're happy, then that's good. And once this document has been reviewed, you are able to then get feedback where it's either competent or not yet competent, and you can actually replace the file. When you replace the file, you simply clicking where it says choose replacement file, then you can replace it with a new file and click replace. It will go in and replace the existing file. Now, if a module is marked as competent, it will not be able to be replaced because it's finalized. It won't be pending review as the one that you're looking at. So the system is quite conversational and intentional in how it presents the information that you have captured. Once you have captured everything, you can actually submit your portfolio for review. So whenever you submit for review, the tutors will understand that, oh, there is something that's been submitted, then they can review and give you feedback. Now, we then went further to say, what are the entries that you have made to your portfolio or to your POE. Now with the entries that you have made, you can now engage with them a little bit further, where you can also sign off, right, and confirm that you've signed off and submit whatever you've submitted. And we give you another view that is a bit more detailed and a bit more engaging with your portfolio or with your submission. Now, if ever there is a submission that you've made and you feel that perhaps it's not quite good quality and it's not clear, you can use the evidence uploader, which allows you to take a high-res picture using your device. So if you click on it, it will open up a small little window where you will scan with your smartphone, then it will give you a page to take a picture of your evidence or of your submission, then you upload it to the platform. So these are the things that I'm just showing you and provoking your thoughts. Now, all the things that I touched on, you can access them from the main menu functions, where it's starting with home, then it goes to today. So today is more streamlined to guide you based on what needs attention at that particular moment. So everything that is urgent, anything that is due that might be blocking you to do something, it's put in one place, and it's ordered in a journey way to say what is the most important, the most urgent thing that you need to attend. So in this case, it says your recommended next steps, you are blocked from exams because you have not chosen your delivery method of your exam. So you can choose to say, how am I going to attend the exam? Am I going to attend the exam in person or online? Then also you need to take the readiness check to say, am I ready for the exam? So it gives you a mock exam that prepares you for the final online examination and gives you a certificate of competence to say you are certified to write an exam online after you take that small little course. Now, it also gives you access to the to-dos, where there is 3 learning items to study. So it says, work through your remaining course material and stay on track, and you can actually open the materials. Then upcoming, there is the delivery choice, which closes on the 5th of November. So by then, you should have made a decision whether you are writing online or you are going to write the examination in person. So we put together the today menu to allow you to access these things in a way that is not overwhelming, without giving you more information, as you would see on the home, because the home, we try to make it more comprehensive. It's just putting everything in one, because this is more of what you're going to log in and see on your desk almost on an everyday. Now, the third menu option is the Learn menu. So the Learn menu gives you access to the course orientation, which you can take for you to unlock the learning material. So once you take the course orientation quiz, you will be able to unlock your study material, right? So we touched on the study material before. So this is one way to access your study material using the Learn option, where if you click on Learn, you've got course orientation, and it will show done or pending if you haven't taken it, or due. Then in this case, once it's done, you will have access to the learning materials, which is where we are. And your learning materials page, I'm going to quickly explain it. It has a few things on it. You can actually group this learning material in this way that you are looking at, which is default. And you can also select that I only want to see the links, or I only want to see the PDFs, right? I only want to see the to-dos. I only want to see what is done. I only want to see, or I want to sort them with the newest or the oldest. Then you can also choose to say, I don't want to view the grid, or I want to view a table where it's sorted in a table way, in a table manner. So I'm playing around the interface to show you things that you can do when you're engaging with the platform. So if there are any suggestions, bring them through. We always love the feedback. Now, the fourth menu is Assess. So on the Assess menu, firstly, there is this thick black banner that you're going to see. It will always change and be so interactive that it shows you that you are not yet ready for an exam, and you can actually check your readiness. That's what's needed. So depending on what's due, this banner will always indicate what has to happen. On its far right, it gives you access to the exams, also the exam delivery method, and the readiness check. Then also the practice of the progress questions and the leaderboard that shows you how you're ranking on those XP points that we touched earlier, to say who's been taking this. Look at Tatenda. Tatenda, you're in the crowd. I saw you and I see what you're doing.